What's up, my people? Karibuni sana kwenye another episode of The Mind and Unbearable Conversations. It's your host, Godfrey Washira. And last episode, we did a very interesting show about Tamara and Dylan. And many of you guys said things about the show, learned many things about the show and everything. And yeah, it was just amazing. And I want to just shout out some few people out there who have always been commenting, have always been checking out my videos. Number one, we have... Yes, Lynn Wanjiru. And Lynn Wanjiru made a very powerful comment about mental health. And she said that mental health is something that we all go through, but we don't have people to talk to. Therapists are paid a lot for like 1 or 2 hours for a session. We all come from different backgrounds, and we can't be able to afford. That's why most people start drinking, using drugs, and that's how they are able to get comfortable. We get judged out here by people who we thought they will have our backs in every situation that we are in. In our society, we have to fake it or to show we are strong with a smile or saying we got it, but deep down we can't. So she also continued to say that out here, that young single mothers are going through a lot now because their spouses left them. She's now, some of them are now, they have to be the breadwinners of the whole family. So some don't have options but to get involved with another man who can provide for both of them, for the child and also the lady. So shout out to Yulin Wanjiru, shout out to Eda, who's always been commenting, shout out to Christine Pale, who's always been commenting, Becca. We have other people like Brian Sang, we have people like Pastor Isaac Maze. You guys have been doing amazing, and thank you very, very much. Let's continue with the same cycle. Let's continue with the same energy. We can do this, and we can do it in an amazing way. So today we have a very interesting show for you guys. It's still about relationships, and we'll be going deeper into how mental health affects or relationships are affected with mental health. And today I have two very powerful people in the studio, and or in my show that is, and I'm going just to introduce them. Number one, we have Radier. You can introduce yourself. You can introduce yourself.
My name is Radier from Pink and Tamed. Check it out. Today I'm ambushing your show.
Awesome. Amazing. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to host you. Number two, we have Anonymous. They are the masked man. Imagine the masked man. Anonymous. The whole show. Imagine.
Oh.
Yes. Nice. Introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, I'm Sunguterano from Safari on a Budget. Booyah. Then nimekuja kwa hizi vitu serious kiasi.
So kwangi serious normally.
Na kwanga serious ni ati tu content yenye si who make kwangi za matters of the heart. Pink and Tamed na kwanga matters of the heart. Share yake na kwanga
matters of the mind. Amazing, and we have to cover all of them.
Tu hapa ndio to get us and kwa matters of the heart na matters of the mind. Ndio kuja kwa matters of the road. For Safari on a Budget.
Amazing. That means they have a show, or Pink and Tamed, Safari on the Budget. And I'm so glad to have you guys in my show. Karibuni sana, sindo. And today we'll be going deeper on relationships and how relationships are affected with mental health or by mental health. So, and I'm going to start with a quote, and we're going to share from that everyone says that love hurts. But the truth is, love does not hurt. Love is actually the most amazing thing. But what hurts is loneliness, losing someone that you love, or even rejection. Do you agree with this quote, Radier?
Yeah, yes and no. You say that love hurts. Okay, I don't agree that love hurts.
Because nowadays in our generation, people will post about love hurts, so they opt to not engage into love because love hurts. That's what they think.
Love does not hurt.
Love does not hurt, right?
Love is beautiful, love is amazing, love is butterflies and rainbows. Exactly. What hurts is rejection, and just being rejected is what hurts. Love does not hurt. Being hurt by someone you love, that's the issue.
And what about losing someone you love?
Yeah, that's painful, but that's not love hurting you. Yeah,
But it's still
losing
something
someone.
to do with love.
Yeah, but it's someone you love.
Because you love that person.
Yeah.
But wanakutoka mazi.
Sasa yamekutoka.
Wanakuleft.
Yakupendi.
Yakupendi, si ndio?
Hey.
That's a good view. Anonymous, Amasungu, what's your view?
Yo, where's it anonymous and shut up?
Oh man, what's your view?
So specifically, the question is love hurts.
Okay, basically people say that
love hurts. That's the question.
if you agree with love hurts, or do you think that, nowadays people say that the thing that hurts is love. Have you not heard people saying that love hurts?
Let me ask you a question. What is love?
Love is happiness. It's dedicating your time, your everything to someone. It's understanding someone. Love is being there for someone. Love is a whole big thing, and love is also a feeling, an intense feeling.
Well, what is love?
For me personally, I think love is commitment, emotion, and also communication.
So,
That is basically love for me.
And to you, love does not hurt, right?
Love doesn't hurt, but what hurts is the things about love, like what comes out of love.
Love doesn't hurt.
Love doesn't
Love
hurt.
doesn't hurt. See that?
Yeah.
So now this is what happens. In my opinion, why people say love hurts is their definition of what love is. Everybody has a different definition. By default, I guarantee you, every person who says I love someone does not. Hata watu wawili wanaambiana I love someone. Mimi ndaambia mse I love you and I love you. She has totally different reasons of saying she loves me. I have totally different reasons of saying I love her.
Yeah.
So the problem to me comes in the definition, what people perceive to be love. So when what you perceive to be love hurts you, you suppose that's what hurts. But to me, love does not hurt you. Love is woo! Yeah, niggas.
Love is amazing, right?
Love ni love, yo.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I feel love ni love. Love ni yo kitu huwezi explain. Nyo really meza ku explain love.
Tumejaribu ku explain.
Mimi mse akiniliza love ni nini ndako.
By the way, it's true. Love is deeper than what we can actually explain.
Yeah.
Mse akiniliza love ni ndako. Unaona ile time uko man Joe.
Exactly.
Hiyo ndio love. Huyo mse anajua. Huyo mse mwe anakuwa on the other end anajua love. So hiyo ndio definition ya love. So hiyo kitu haiumizi yo. That hiyo
From experience, yeah?
haiumizi.
Haiumizi,
It does not hurt.
Let's talk about it this way, that things that hurt are things that come out of love. Things like rejection or loneliness. Do you know that there are some people who are in relationships, but even if they're in relationships, they are feeling lonely in the relationships? True or false?
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Has it happened to you?
No, but I feel like if there's no communication, then you'll feel lonely. In a relationship there needs to be communication. So if there's no communication, you end up feeling lonely.
True. What do you think?
Nafilikani kuja therapy. Sikuambia ipate.
What do you think? So it means if you've come for therapy, it means it has happened to you.
Kuja mimi gangster zo. Niko na gangster points ku maintain. But na get kitu nasema. Inawakivi. Siamini nataka kufanyisha. Inawakivi. Unaona the moment msichana kwa lonely na kwa relationship. Technically inakuanga ukijidate ama shit ka hiyo. Inakuanga it comes when I'm not talking from my opinion. I don't know from any other person's opinion. I'm giving you my perception. When you're here in that relationship where umefika hapa, umejiupgrade hadi hapa, lakini mse mwingine ako hapa. And it's purely based on expectations. You expect this other person to reciprocate what you're presenting on the table, and this other person does not meet up to your expectations.
But if you haven't communicated your expectations,
now, even if you communicate your expectations and this other person is not at par with you, by default, your expectations are your expectations.
True.
By no means does this other person have to oblige to your expectations. So when that happens, unakonga tu hapo kijidate tu. Wewe tupa mahindi bana, kuku inapita tu. So na get your kitu like ni genuine. Hiyo kitu inauma. Nauma mbaya.
So umesema wewe huku hivi nje wewe ni gangster, si ndio?
Nini maliza kusema statement nikakuwa nilisema kwa
Umesema wewe huku nje wewe ni gangster, right? So it means that there are things that happen to you even in maybe in love, si ndio? That make you feel like you need to harden yourself.
Okay,
right?
Let's start from the basics. I'm not a pro about love.
No one is a pro about love.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not about love.
But when you say you're a gangster, what do you mean?
See me ni gangster.
How?
Wewe check wewe. Oya, that's your statement.
How? Okay.
See, nikisema mimi ni gangster na mean loosely in the statement in the suit to me a gangster person and everything. I mean I don't pour my heart out unless I have to pour my heart out to the people I have to pour my heart out. Hata say easy what I've done is more than I've done ever anywhere else. Like in my perception and in my opinion, matters of my heart are matters of my heart. The only people who are privy to information about matters of my heart is people who are close to me, and by definition of close is extremely close to me. Those are the only people who are privy to matters of my heart. Yeah. So to the rest of you, mtaona tu ile sura yangu like everything is normal, even if everything is not normal. The only people I can be vulnerable to are people extremely close to me. And by default, even if inafaa kuwa.
True. So there's something that you said about in a relationship being someone who's giving this and then you're receiving this from your partner, right? So that at the end of it brings about maybe even rejection, right? Because you're feeling you guys are not even getting along. It's not working out for you, right? So because you've talked about that, have you come to that point of you feeling like you're doing so much in a relationship and yet you're receiving less than what you're doing or you're giving?
Okay, first and foremost, sijakuwa kwa relationships more. Let's start from there.
Hakuna mtu amekuwa kama relax.
Hii story yangu. Naona tunaweza kunipeleka.
No pressure.
I've not been in many relationships. So I can only talk about the ones I've been in. And the ones I've been in, sijakuwa, if anything, probably mimi ndio nimekuwa nikido the opposite of his statement.
Yeah.
But once, kuna kaenzi, nilikuwa natupa mahindi pahali kwa mamas fulani hapo. Mahindi zangu hazikuwa zikilia haraka. Nilikuwa zinapitwa. So hiyo ndio moment naweza sema na feel at that specific time, but this wasn't a relationship. I was not in a relationship. Nilikuwa najaribu ku upgrade. Unajua tu ile sauti solo sema jumping out the friend zone. Hapa na ilikuwa tu stranger zone. Wana jump out the stranger to friend ndio nifike hapo juu kidogo. So at that point ndio nilikuwa kwa hiyo kitu I was feeling like I'm doing a lot. But umse mwingine alikuwa ameninao kidogo akanya upgrade just a little. Afu akanyeka hapo kwa wewe tulia hapo sasa. Sasa kutoka hapo pale nilia kwa sasa. Hapo ndo sasa inakuwa kazi. So
wow. Amazing. Radial. Have you been in a point in a relationship where you're giving more than what you're receiving?
Yeah, for sure.
How did it end? How did it go?
It didn't go right.
It didn't go right.
Because you can't be giving someone also a lot and they're not getting much back. You'll end up leaving the person. That's how it works. Because I can't keep giving you all of myself and you're giving me half-ass shit. So it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So mwacha. Mlikuwa mna date? Ama mlikuwa tu stage before she was date?
So you guys were in the relationship and you're feeling like this guy is not even doing enough.
Yeah. Okay, it didn't start like that. It gets to a point, when
wait. It started. So it means it started like things were good.
Yeah.
But it reached a point. Yeah. Actually, it brings me to another question that I have. That in relationships, are that thing that it affected you mentally, right? That this person is not giving me what I want, or I'm not receiving the same energy that I'm giving this person, It affected you mentally. And basically that's it. So my question is now, is there a point, or are mental health issues something that make people like come out of relationships? Or just draw back or retrieve?
I can think
is it what
yes
happened
and no.
to you?
Yes and no. Because know in terms of if you're not aware that this thing is affecting your mental health, then ideally it has nothing to do with your mental health, but it does. But yes, also because it does affect your mental health. You feel like you're not good enough, you feel rejection, you feel there's a whole lot of feelings going on, and it makes you doubt yourself. Yeah. Because utakuwa kwa relationship, I'm like, I'm putting in effort, I'm doing so much, and this person could care less. So it will drain you as a person, you see.
True.
And it's at some point you realize it's not worth it. You've communicated, and then the main thing is you have to communicate when something's going wrong. You've communicated plenty of times. If you're not getting anything back, then you step. It's that simple.
That's simple.
Okay, it's not that simple, but yeah.
What do you think?
Let me ask you something. Have you ever been, personally, have you ever been in a relationship where you feel like you're giving more than you're getting?
Yes, I have. And
so passionate.
For real, it happens. It's something that happened. Yes, it happens, right? And
like not once.
Okay, I'm saying to everyone, it has happened to me.
Not once.
Okay, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like at some point in relationships, you're trying to find your one. Sindio, at the end of it all, you're trying to find your one. So you'll not go through one to get to the one. Maybe you'll go through maybe a couple of people, I don't know, but it depends. There are people who meet and then they end up together, right? We've heard of such cases, right?
What's your definition of relationship?
My definition of a relationship is just the same energy. As we're talking about energy and what I'm giving you, you should give it to me.
So
you get.
If ukiniambia la nikujibu because sana feel nakupatia energy unanipatia any relationship.
Okay, it's a relationship. We are to in a context.
Ndio nauliza definition yake ya relationship kwa hii context. Unaweza sema relationship ni nini kwako?
Relationship is about, number one, that commitment of just fixed or committed to this person. Like in a relationship, you should just be free to give your time, to give your energy, and also your resources, right? Because definitely you guys have to involve all of those things for your relationship to work. Also, things like energy, not unajua hata before mko in a relationship lazima mclick. Kuna hiyo kuclick. But kuna instances mna click when you're already into the relationship, you're feeling like things are not going right. Like your partner is reducing the level of energy they used to give you or the level of commitment they used to give you. That's the point where you start questioning the relationship, like, is it working out?
So
we were talking about my instance and I was giving my example, right? So what happened was I was in this relationship and at first it was something amazing, But at the end of it all, I came to realize that what messed it up is hatuko tumejuana vizuri na udem. Like unaweza meet msee na okay, as young as I am, unaweza meet msee mjuane for like maybe 3 to 4 months alafu start dating. Hiyo si kujuana. There is the aspect of quoting and there's the aspect of now diving into dating.
The reason I was asking about a relationship, I think the problem comes in the quality of relationship that tunaongelea. And hiyo ndio sasa inakama hapa kwa wewe ulianza kudate immediately. Maybe wewe uko kidate because unaweza date. So quality of quality of relationship.
Exactly.
So opinion yangu, the moment quality of the relationship, the moment you start dating every Mary Jane and angoa mnatembea huko nje, by default lazima mental health yako iko na issue.
True.
So mimi nasema shida ni hii part ya kwanza ya courtship.
So you feel like more time should be given to courtship, sindio?
Now, bado narudi kwa definitions. Like purely narudi kwa definitions. When you say more time should be given to courtships, because umesema there's that will take 3 months afu kaanza kudate mtu. Man, mimi na feel maybe opinion yangu 3 months kudate ni because mimi na feel kudate ni period ya kujua msee. So hiyo ndio mna date. Na misipoba man kukot kwa nataka
Okay, brings in another aspect of it, but let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
When there's like a guy harassing you and your man doesn't actively fight him, you see, you'll have like when my man is not man enough, and essentially that's not exactly what being a man is, and that's psychological part shaking.
Welcome back, guys, to the show. And this time round, we're gonna switch things up, and we're gonna talk about do you think it's right for you to be able to share your mental health issues with the partner or with your partner, or in the process of getting to know each other in a relationship? Do you think it's right for you to tell your partner that maybe you're having depression, you're having anxiety, you're having attacks? Maybe do you think it's right for you to be able to do that? Sungu, do you think it's right?
So umesema nikiwa in a relationship.
Like even before you start a relationship. Because
two things. Before, no. After, or it depends. Tuko level gani. Depending on the level I can share. That's right. But before, time bado tuwe ni Mary Jane and Angoa bana. It's not right. It's not a right ya kukwambia. I won't even feel comfortable telling you that.
But before you get into a relationship, are you not supposed to be comfortable with your partner?
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends on where in this journey we are. Kama tuko the initial stages, I'm not telling you anything. Like, I'm not being vulnerable within the initial stages because I don't know where this thing is going.
Yeah.
But after I see a possibility of a future, then it's levels of what I can share and what I can't share. I can try as much as on paper and ambio sema kila kitu, everything on the table. But no propaganda peleka huko. In real sense, to me personally, the initial stages are certain I feel I'm seeing a future with you. You understand and comfortable sharing with you.
Yeah.
But by the time we are in a relationship, that kamba amba tuko pamoja. Like that's one of the things I feel inafaa kwa relationship. Like it's that safe haven where you can pour yourself out. You can be vulnerable. Musema, if ever ukwe na amnesia, your partner anafaa kwenye utarudi anaweza kuambia life yako, like akupigie story ya life yako ikuwe like your back. Sasa ukumbuki kitu but atakumbusha kila kitu.
Yeah.
So to me, if I'm in a relationship, 100% right. If not, banaenda kwenye.
I completely disagree with what you said. Like when you said you call it being vulnerable. It's not being vulnerable. It's making someone aware. Imagine if someone has like bipolar disorder or has anxiety attacks, and you don't let the person you're intending to date, or even the person you're going out with, let's even by the third date, you should be able to let this person know. I get what you're saying about down the line. There are deeper things that you can be able to share, but things about mental health you should be able to share from not day one, but like day one, like the initial stages. You should be able to share, because what if you have an anxiety attack and I have no idea what to do? You have bipolar disorder. I may just think you're just a mean person all of a sudden and don't understand what's happening. You see, or maybe you need to take some medication. I have no clue. So you have to let the person know in the initial stages.
First and foremost, let's just agree on one thing. Sungu is talking on Sungu's behalf.
And I'm disagreeing with Sungu.
So I'm just saying, Sungu is talking on Sungu's behalf. I can't talk on behalf of somebody who has anxiety or bipolar disease because I'm not affected by them. So as per the things that I have.
But wouldn't you want the person you're dating to let you know? So in case they have
a problem. Exactly. That's a good question.
Because how would you know how to handle that?
The question is, same question. Umesema third date.
Yeah, but like the third date-ish.
So to meet the first date, what happens on the first date?
You should talk about general stuff. Movies.
Second
music.
date?
I don't know.
Just give me a preview. What do you talk about on the second date?
Deeper things like the opinions on certain issues.
Mental.
Society.
Society and politics.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you a question. So unataka mtu mwenye tumeongelea tu rao weather movies nimwambie kuhusu life yangu on the third date?
Definitely.
Definitely. Because me to get from the conversation to me have hapa. Nimekuuliza what you said with this person on the first date.
Yeah.
What you said on the second date. Needless to say, what you said on the first date and the second date does not make this person close to me. So if ungeniambia on the first date, because me I don't know how people date out here. Kila mtu na feel akona thoughts zake na text zake. Ungeniambia on the first date mliongelea hizo blah blah blah, all the simple things. On the second date, mkifika the second date mlikuwa mnaongelea life yake ongelea life yake. You on the third date, I'm cool to say. That's why nasema on levels. I'm not going to start talking to every Tom, Dick and Harry. Naanza kumwambia ndio kitu na feel place disconnect na come kwa conversation. Disconnect inakuja, how close should I be to someone before I actually have to say it? What you guys are telling me is I don't have to be that close to someone before I have to tell them about myself.
Awesome. So it brings out another question. Now, when you're in a relationship and then after some time now, you know, on the first date you talked about you guys are knowing each other, movies and
that's
everything.
Dating.
That's dating.
That's
No.
just pre-equal one.
Yeah.
But can you go into a relationship without letting your partner know you've like battled with depression, you've battled with anxiety or bipolar disorder? Can you be able to do that?
Unaona, if you actually go to a relationship bila hiyo, tunafaa ku redefine that because that's not a relationship. But the moment you get into a relationship, na feel mtu anafaa kwa kijua hizi vitu zote.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about actually.
So ndio maana nimwambia it's a whole thing about levels. That's what Radier is disagreeing.
Yeah.
Radier ana disagree na the notion that mimi nasema lazima nikuwe na some connection to someone before I call it vulnerability. Before I actually become vulnerable with this person about myself. It's a whole thing about levels. You just don't go around telling everybody. Needless to say, Radier, I've known you for a whole long duration.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things I don't know about you.
That's true.
Unaget?
Yeah.
Because the levels zenye tuko nazo bado sijafika point yenye unaweza niambia vitu zingine. That's all I'm saying. Nasema tafadhali before mu expect niambie mtu kitu, please acha kwa amefika level yenye niko cool kumwambia, level yenye niko cool kumtrust, because needless to say my mental health is something I have to trust someone with. It's something I have to trust someone with. Genuinely ingekuwa if nakuchukia saa hii, sema if nachukia ule saa hii
Ule mwenye hayuko.
ule pale hayuko, mtu ameketi pale kama kuna mtu amekaa hapo, if nachukia mse saa hii na amenidia kitu and I want to revenge on that person, I'll use everything I know about them. I'll use everything I know. That's the only way you fight your enemy. Like if you're going to fight them, make sure you win. So if mental health is on the table, if that's a weakness that I can exploit, you'll exploit it.
Yeah.
So why would you expect me to tell somebody who I don't trust about my mental health? I don't trust them. So needless to say, siendi kuambia kitu kuhusu mental health yangu.
Very true. And yeah, so Sungu has talked about something very important in terms of levels. Like we have to have levels in relationships whereby we can be able to share certain things. You know, it has to go to a certain point for you to be able to be free with that person and be able to share certain things, like certain deep things about yourself, about your life, about what you've gone through, maybe even about your childhood traumas, right? And I want to dive in, before we get into that, childhood, that will be a whole topic on itself, and we are going to talk about it in the next episode. But I want to ask the last question. What if you're in a relationship and things have gone, time has gone, maybe you guys have been there in like 1.5 an year, right? Maybe 1 year and 6 months, that is. And that is the point that you're realizing that your girlfriend has been battling with depression all along. What step can you take?
How long? What?
Like you've dated for 1 year and 6 months.
1 year, 6 months. Nah.
That is the point.
That entire duration, I'm not aware she's been battling depression.
Yeah.
Exactly. About things in her life, about you don't even know what has been causing depression in her life, you know.
That raises 1,011 questions to me.
So what if alikuwa amehide, like amehide all that because she's insecure about telling you. Aja feel like anataka ku open up about that. Maybe she's thinking you can change your attitude towards her.
You remember the initial conversation we were having at the beginning of this discussion? Levels of relationships. Actually, it wasn't levels of relationship, it was
Definition of relationship.
definition of relationship.
Yeah.
Probably definition of relationship 1, 2, ile unajidate. Probably what you're bringing on the table is not being reciprocated. If that's the case, probably umekuwa ukijidate for a long while. 1 or 2, you're just not who you think you are.
Okay, let's not put it that
kiasi
umekuwa ukijidate.
2, you're just not who you think you are.
Ah.
Like probably mimi Because needless to say, if somebody is willing to stay with you for that entire time, now that person is not willing to share that with you. Why I'm saying you're not who you are, you are not by default opportunity to an opportunity or an environment where she can be that open with
Exactly.
you. So maybe to me, I think I'm that amazing person who is open to her, and to her I'm not that. To her I'm just some other human being ametoka dunia ingine. So that's 2. 3, she's just her. Like,
I completely disagree with you, because I feel like, as you said, you've called it vulnerability, which I completely disagree with. But if you put it in those terms of vulnerability, this person maybe has been vulnerable before.
Okay, let me.
And they got
can I
hurt.
please interrupt you? What's your definition of vulnerability? Because the initial term we completely disagree. You are disagreeing with the term vulnerability for me.
Because I don't think vulnerability should be like mental health should be vulnerability. You see, I agree with you. It is vulnerability, but I feel like our society should not make it to be vulnerability. It should be something that it's okay to talk about, even if it's the early stages. You see, but I agree with you. It is vulnerability. So if I've even lost my train of thought.
You're saying you disagree with me because of me saying it's vulnerability, the mental health thing being vulnerability.
I was talking about they in a relationship. If you don't know about if someone had depression and all that, maybe they were vulnerable before in a relationship, and then someone was like, I own to, there's still stigma around mental health.
True.
So you told this person is suffering, with depression or anxiety and all that, and this person left you, and maybe it's someone you genuinely cared about and all that, So at this point, maybe they're very attached to you, and they like maybe how you treat them and all that. Maybe, as you said, you think you're a good person and you're doing all those good things. Maybe it's because of that this person does not want to tell you, because they'll think, this person is so good to me. If I share with them this part of me and they leave me, what will happen?
So that makes it 3.
It makes it 3 as in?
Because I said 2, I'm being good, but I think I'm being good, but to her I'm not being that good.
You are being that good, and that's why she's scared.
And I said 3, it may just be her. She's not cool with it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about this, it's something that she's still going through about that.
I don't completely disagree.
So you do agree with me?
I partly agree with you, yeah.
I know, right?
It's something that she's going through. Even as you guys are in a relationship, she's going through depression. Or maybe it's something that happened before. It happened to her life and it ruined her life. And maybe she's not gotten the openness to be able to share with you. Because she's thinking, I want to know if this is actually long-term so that I can be able to share with my guy. So what can you do at that point when you realize that, it's just a basic question. How can you help her? What can you do when you realize that your partner has been going through or has battled with depression?
This is where editor uneka crickets. So, because genuinely, hapo siko sure, I'm genuinely trying to think what naweza fanya kwa situation. The best, in my opinion, the best unaweza fanya ni kutry kuwa understanding, of which sijui bado mtu anafaa kufanyaje kichuka hiyo kwa situation hiyo. Bana hope ni so ifika hapo, but na feel hiyo ina need mtu ame experience kuiongelea.
Hi, lastly, Radio, let's finish up. What can you do if you come to realize that your partner has been facing, mental health issues?
I'd try and make sure they're able to come to me and talk to me. And I'm very open about suggesting therapy. But here's the thing, you can be understanding and all that. And the problem is, I feel like the biggest problem is we are not equipped with how to handle issues of mental health. So when you're a partner in a relationship, you honestly don't know what to do. So as you said, you'll be understanding, and please push for therapy. Please push for therapy for this person.
Initial thought yangu before some understanding nilikuwa nenda tu Google. But your therapy is smart,
It's because that's the only way. And then I feel like therapy is also kind of wishy-washy, because there are therapists who are just trash, to be honest. You see, you have to make sure even when they go for therapy and they find a therapist who doesn't fit them, because that happens a lot, They don't stop looking for a therapist who will fit them and who will understand them. Because if they stop, then it's just a whole thing. It crumbles. You can be as understanding as you want, but at the end of the day, this person will be battling with depression. It might go so bad this person commits suicide, and then you'll be like, I could have done more. And honestly, there's nothing could have done because you don't even have the tools of how to help this person.
Yeah.
So for me, I advocate therapy 100%.
Wow, amazing. So thank you very much. That is very, very deep about, relationships and mental health. And guys, it's time that we come out and talk about things that we battle in our relationships. It's time that we come out and talk about, the struggles that we are having in our relationships, so that we can be able to, at the end of it all, we can be able to have perfect and good relationships that actually lead to something that is sensible and something that is good at the end of it all. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. Today's show was very amazing, and I'm so glad that we've been able to do this. So make sure you comment, make sure you like, and make sure you subscribe, and definitely don't forget to share this with someone, because definitely it's going to help someone. I know I've done definitely like 3 times, right?
Definitely.
But definitely. But yes, it's going to help someone out there. And let's call it a wrap. Thank you. I've been your host, Godfrey Washira.